G'day and welcome. Early Crow, episode 72. Brought to you by no one. You want to get involved? Email?
theearlycrowpodcast at gmail.com.
Luckily, Paps is on millions. I keep finding winners and essays going through the roof, so we're sweet. I'd love to get you involved. What a phenomenal, outstanding, glorious week of sport. Warrnambool, footy galore, magic round. An amazing result on Saturday night for those of you that look at the long-term vision of the country, and one of the most famous Swans wins. I think it's top 10 for me off the top of my head on Sunday there at the SCG. We fucking needed it. I think as Swans fans, expectations low, and the boys were tough, and we'll talk about him like I do every week, but there was some sneaky, dirty shit from the cross that I loved. Where should we start?
Well, I didn't realise that Geelong beating Collingwood was going to have a bigger effect on the country, to be honest. The long-term vision.
Was that Saturday night too?
That was Saturday night, yep.
Dangerfield was impressive, wasn't
he? I said it to you in the WhatsApp, Paps. How's he so thick? Like, why is he such a thick human being?
Mate, I reckon he'd be close to 100 kegs.
Yeah, same.
He's
a thick boy.
So I've got something in common with Patrick Dangerfield, do I?
It was actually amazing. I was just sitting there going, this bloke is just a freak. He just like flicks a switch and he's like, all right, I'm going to start. I'll grab the boys here and we'll start going.
Yeah.
He's very clean.
Clean, tough. You'd love to play with him. He just has a crack all the time.
Yeah. He did it. I reckon it sparked last week against Carlton. He ran out of the forward line and the ball was in a contest, or it was either with Cherra or Cripps, and he just decided, no, I'm going to go get this ball, and then he just decided again that Geelong was going to win on Saturday night, and they won.
He doesn't deviate. He just runs straight and does not move. If someone's in his way, he just collects. He's a very, very good player still, and I reckon might be the first player ever to have 9 All-Australian. Be a pretty amazing achievement for him. But yeah, he's a beast,
as he deserves too.
You say it's the best game of footy we've seen this year?
Yeah,
definitely.
That was good to watch. Collingwood's game state is actually amazing, even to save a game, but also to win a game. It's pretty impressive. They do it very, very well. Easily the best in the league at saving and trying to win a game. They just little things like what Booker did. Like Darcy Cameron just held him up like cowboy tackle.
Did he give you a little bit of a text sort of Sunday morning about that goal?
How nice was that?
It was
very nice.
I don't even reckon he meant it. I don't even know. It was unbelievable. It was so funny. And his reaction was just gold.
I think you're right, perhaps. Like, Penn was on the wing. He knew that there was a ball that was out on the full, and he claimed it was a mark and then ran back off the mark. And it just allowed us to flood back as well, which just stopped Geelong.
What do you make of like what happens internally, mentally, structurally in a club where they come real quick and hard, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, then they win it the next year, then they fall off a cliff. They start really poorly. They'd be flag favourites today, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
How does that work internally? Like the belief,
I think you look
more so off last year. Like they sort of fell apart a bit.
Yeah, they had a fair few injuries last year as well, though, which is healthiest list is usually like if with the good when the really good teams are going well, you look at them. Well, any team really that's going really well is usually the healthiest list. Like us last year, healthiest list, get 4 or 5 injuries and drop off. Collingwood were very healthy a couple of years ago. A few injuries. Brisbane, a few injuries at the start of the last year. Get their list back healthy and get it going. Because it's so hard to experience is so undervalued. You look at Collingwood, they're old, but they're so experienced and they just know every single little smart play, every single little moment of the game. What do we need here? And they just don't even have to look at each other. They don't every single every player on that field would know what to do. And it's nothing against inexperienced guys, but it's just the way that the game is. If you play 150 games, it's sort of second nature to you. But if you play under 10 games, all you're trying to do is keep your spot in the team. Really,
well,
you just want to.
It's just life. The more you roll through something with like a structure and in an organisation and with coaching, the better you're going to get.
Yep.
This time next year, we're probably not going to have 12-unit day at Hawkesbury. We live and we learn. Experience.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, it's that's I reckon, just the experience, and also When you are the hunted, as they say, you get the opposition goes after you every week, and they look at you every single week. What are they doing? They're the best. How can we nullify this? How can we beat them? So every week you go into a game and they're getting after you. So Collingwood are now the hunted, and Brisbane and things like that. It's every week teams wind themselves up. We've got to be good today. So all this stuff, and it can be tough.
Is there anything in the draw like running 9th and 10th and 12th? Does that give you a better draw the next year? I don't have a clue if it does or doesn't.
Yeah. Well, if you out of the finals, I think you play less teams in the finals the following year. I think you might play like 2 teams in the bottom 8 or twice or something, or 3 times, or 3 teams twice or something in the bottom 8. I don't know how it all works, but it's how the AFL want it. They wanted everyone sort of gets their lick of the ice cream. Try to anyway.
Does that make yesterday's famous win at the SCG? It was almost a bit unswans like too, like started well and just controlled and stayed there. Like it got scary-ish, but not fucking scary ever. Does that make yesterday's win just all the more important because there'd be a belief amongst the club that if you can just stay within striking distance and get yourself and Errol and these blokes back in, Logan and Joel, and all of a sudden we're running 8th or 7th and we win 4 in a row and you're the team with momentum again.
Yeah, I think it was a huge win yesterday. Like you said, it's a very famous win. I think backs against the wall, and fucking super proud of the boys how they went about it and they got after them. And I think that was we're just really really tough in the contest, tough away from the ball, just the little niggly stuff that we planned to do with Taylor and Buckley worked a treat. So, but yeah, it was a good win. I think we've got also like a few other guys like Tay Adams, Robbie Fox, Harry Cunningham who are nearly coming back as well, who were experienced. They'll add value to our team as well. So that was good to get it back on the winning list. But we've got to go again this week against Essendon.
It's a big night for Padlock. I mean, if there's a team in the AFL that relies more on one bloke, I don't know who it is, because Zach Merritt is just fucking that good, but he is playing for Essendon. How proud of you were, and was there any sort of coaching like late in the week? I know you're a leader. I thought some of the niggle from Hamling was just like spot on, and it was at the right time, and it was against the bloke that doesn't want to niggle. You know, you can sort of, you got to be conscious my opinion, obviously you're the expert and the professional, but you got to sort of pick your targets when you're revving, because some blokes it'll actually fire them up and turn them on. It was beautiful work, I thought. And how much did you have to do with it?
Well, I think obviously we've probably won 4 or 5 in a row against them now. We've sort of seen a trend of the forward group getting after their back line and putting them under the pump. I think it works, and it was a plan for us. I think you look at our forward line, we've got Francis, who's he's going very well. I reckon he's a natural forward, but he's played most of his footy down back. Hamling's
has he got a high footy IQ?
Yeah, very high. Yeah, he's good.
I love the little like fade, fake, take my time. I'm going to kick it to the most clutch bloke in the AFL for a set shot instead of me. Like, that was real sharp.
Yeah, he's very smart footy player. Like, they're actual defenders. And then you got Cleary, who's played 20 games, less than 10 games, sorry. Corey Warner, who's played less than 20 games. James Jordan, who's a midfielder, who's playing forward. Will Hayward's a natural forward. Chad Warner goes down there, but he's more a midfielder. And you look at it, there's probably only 1 or 2 natural forwards, and so you've got to do things differently sometimes. And funny enough, we actually scored a very high percentage against the best team holding the scores. They're the number 1 team at per inside 50 to score. They're very good. They go at like 34% or something.
I wonder if Kingy and Kano will be all over that. I wonder.
Yeah. So, but like even still, like, I don't know, Coxie's been copping his whack for.
Oh, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, what happened yesterday was so famous. I wasn't going to say what you just said, but that's why I think it is. It was like makeshift. There was all things in different places. Like, Wicks was fucking enormous.
Yeah.
That's his move.
Yeah.
No one's talking about that. I bet we put Tom McCartan forward in a team that's struggling and he didn't kick 6, so fucking...
Dicko Hamlin got dropped last week, then brings him back as a forward, and how's the game that he played, and then and kicked the sealer.
Oh, what I loved about him too was like when you're playing golf for cash, or like Staleford, whoever you're against, and you're getting wobbly, and like you got I've got that little fade that I've got. Other blokes know they're going to draw it. He knew he was just going to poke a little like left to right fader, and he just hit it for the left post and faded it right. Like it was fucking intelligent.
Yeah, he's it was his first goal ever.
He almost sat down when he kicked it. He was that far, like he leant right back.
And then he didn't get around one of the boys. Just went beeline straight for Buckley.
That was great. That was great.
Oh shit! I've never seen anything like it. The niggle all game, like even like when the ball, like you wouldn't be able to see, but like the ball would be in the D50 and he'd be just niggling like all day.
Did you say to him, because I'd love to say, you know, like late when he takes that mark, kicks that goal. And Buckley tries to get him with both elbows, his hip, and then both knees. And he was like disgusted.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, mate, when you do that to him all day and you finally take a marking from him, it's what's going to happen, buddy. Like,
so funny. He, I messaged him today. He goes, mate, you'd have to be sore. He goes, mate, I am fucked. Like, I'm so He goes, mate, I'm that bruised and just like sore.
That's awesome.
He's got those. He had that many scratches and just shit all over him. It was so funny. He's a good man.
Our man, the crust, is just building nicely. Getting the contest.
Yeah,
like, just
he's kicking a few
ground.
flower bags. Like, usually he's a beautiful kid. He's kicking a few flower bags. I told him, I said, mate, what's going on? He's fuming.
Well, like, one day we're going to have to fly up and just do a whole mental coaching session on his goal kicking like that. He was running in, and I think so worried about the little hooky that he just pushed it.
Yeah, that was he was flat with that.
Oh, you know, he'd just be gutted. But he was good. Nice little tough stuff, dirty stuff. Yeah, I thought a great performance, and full credit to Ramps, who again stopped. I think he's like as good as there is in the AFL. He's deadly, dangerous.
Yeah, he was challenged during the week as well about his obviously the defenders have been a bit off their game and he's bounced back in a big way. He's did not give him an inch all day. He was absolutely buggy. He works pretty hard, Toby Green, and geez, at the end of the game, Rams was just like bloody sign. I reckon he was absolutely spent. So he was unbelievable.
I think he laid 8 tackles as well. That's a good effort. If he's being questioned,
he's also he's so clean when he gets the football under the most pressure of any Swans player. Just about every time he gets it going backwards, and he's calm and clean. Like he's a fucking surgeon if you think about it. And he's like dead set like a pirate with one leg. It's quite amazing.
Yeah. He'll go down as one of the best defenders. The club, I reckon, probably is one of the best defenders the club's ever seen. If not, he's so underrated. I reckon in the AFL industry for sure. He's only had one All Australian, but he's been unbelievable through his
Boys
career.
did a
He's
good
34.
job down there. Famous win. We're back. Very, very excited for what shapes as a glorious contest against Essendon. It was a great game last year. I was there. We were there. Praddy drank way too much that night.
Yeah.
But it's always a good game of footy at Etihad when the Swans play there, or Marvel.
It's always pretty close, isn't it?
And speaking of the Dons, Dicko, you half touched on him earlier. Zach Merritt's last quarter on Thursday night. Like, could he have done any more for his team on Thursday night?
You know what happens? I like. You watch it and you can see all the structure and shit that Tom's talking about and the experience, and you got to be here and do that and do that. He almost turns it into like back when you were playing like 18s. Like he's just the gun.
Yeah.
And you sort of get rid of the structure and someone has to just go to him and figure out the rest.
Yeah. I assume perhaps while we're on him, after watching him on Thursday night tear it up in the fourth quarter, that Merritt will get a little bit of attention this weekend.
Yeah, you're not sure what way it would go, but I think there'll be some attention for sure if it's a midfield group as a whole or someone goes to him. But yeah, you've got to definitely look at trying to nullify his impact for sure. He's if you don't stop him, you get absolutely torched by him. So it'll be we'll find out during the week what we're doing, I suppose, and go from there.
And actually, question now that I'm thinking about people who can torch sides, does the Liz ever get any attention down there? Like, a bloke's trying to stop him kicking, because some of his kicks on Sunday were just fucking outrageous and set you guys up for goals.
Compared to last year, he'd probably like to be going a bit better.
Yeah.
Last year he was getting a lot of tag, but he was still able to break it. This year he hasn't actually been tagged that much. Yeah, his offensive stuff is just elite.
Yeah, I think his offensive stuff, Tom's his edge, and you guys aren't going as good as you're going last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And like what Chad said last week, I think is key to people like Liz is when Errol's in and like the shape's better and the pressure's better, the ball comes in more awfully. There's more opportunity for people like the Lizard to attack and intercept and play their way.
Yeah,
it's been like sort of fucking batting down the hatches a little bit so far for him.
Yeah, for sure.
It must be a dark moment if you play for another club at the SCG. You're cooked, and you look up and your man's a Lizard and he's fucking burning through the sand. Just like, oh fucking please miss.
Oh, it's funny.
Just start rubbing your hammy a bit. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's AFL. It's still an absolutely outstanding season for the majority. A couple of dot ball games each weekend, but most of them are red hot, and there's still plenty to watch and talk about. How far away are you? Would we think, Tom, at this stage? We'll wrap up AFL with this.
These few weeks still. Still working through some stuff, so probably at least a month or so, I'd say. But yeah, still a while off.
Golf game, where's that at?
Well, there's not much because I've sort of got to get my heel right. So not much golf going on at the moment at all.
I think we've missed the biggest AFL chat from the weekend as well. Disco Dave in Sydney, how did he perform? I know he was up there this weekend.
But no, he was good. He was very worse aware. On Sunday, they had all the families come up, and
he did a Joel Hamling too, didn't he, when he kicked that ball?
Yeah, he was Sunday. He was worse for wear. They do a big family, like all the families are up, and they come into meetings on Friday and Saturday, and then Saturday we went out to Hawkesbury, where I'll never go ever again.
Get to
and then I dropped him back off at the Flight Club. Have you heard of Flight Club? That dart sort of like temping bowling. You drink piss. So all the families went there and they had to piss up, and the club puts it on, and they go out for dinner. And he was very, very hungover on Sunday. He was drinking solos at the footy.
Oh, get some sugar in. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in, and then we went out for dinner. Last night he said, "I'm not coming. I'm not moving. I'm going straight to the couch."
That's gold.
It is a good couch.
Yeah, comfy couch.
That's gold.
Do you think it's a significant impact that having the families, but the fathers, dad stuff, if dad comes to watch you play cricket when you're a kid, you might watch the ball a little bit closer just because dad's come. Yeah, for you guys, you've moved away from home, away from family. They're up this week. Do you think it has a significant impact on the performance and the focus, I guess? Yeah,
it was good. It's a really good thing that the club does. I'd be surprised if many clubs do what the club did on the weekend. It's actually amazing what they do for the parents, and obviously they've done a lot for us, so the club really gives back and helps them out. So definitely has an impact, I think. Just them around the club, everyone meeting all the parents, and it's just good vibe that week. It's they always do it when we play Giants, just because it's obviously a big game and big crowd, and so we enjoy that week. It's good. Beautiful. Righto, that's footy. F1 this morning and yesterday. Watched it both. I haven't missed a race yet. I know you guys are right into it as well. We saw the sprint race in Miami. Very wet. Very, very wet. Would be a good watch in the wet. They're good watch in the wet. I love it.
Did I see Charles Leclerc hit the wall before he even got to the grid?
Yeah, on the warm-up, on the formation lap. So the first 4 laps of like a 20-lap race was behind a safety car. Then they start. Piastri's in control. Piastri's winning the Australian. But it dries out. They have to pit. As Lando Norris goes to pit, there's another crash.
Saw that.
It doesn't change his tyres. Piastri's got to go at safety car limits. Comes out just behind him. Finishes the race safety car. Lando wins the teammate. McLaren 1-2. Then in the big race, Verstappen on pole. Piastri starts from 4th. Pings. Goes good. Overtakes Verstappen for the lead. Like Flair. He's the only one that I've watched so far the last little few years. It's as aggressive. Like Hamilton, Piastri, and Verstappen. Everyone else is intimidated to go past him because I think they think Verstappen will happily just destroy each car.
Yep.
But he got him done. Lando couldn't get past him as quick, and he pissed in. He won by he could have pit stopped and still won again. So Oscar Piastri is clearly ahead now in the drivers' championship. in the Formula One. He's a young Australian, and he's absolutely flying. It's
It would be
good.
well, because last year they were letting Orlando in, so they might. Surely they do the opposite now.
I'd say it's like, to get a bit technical, I reckon Lando's potentially slightly faster than Oscar, but Oscar's got better racecraft like Verstappen. So he qualifies slightly better normally, and he races sharper and more aggressive, but within that limit, you know.
Yeah.
I think sooner or later he's going to have to be the number one driver, because he started from fourth.
Yeah, that's good.
From all the stuff that you said on Drive to Survive, though, do you reckon the big fella, I can't remember his name, do you reckon he'll actually
Zach Brown.
do you reckon Brown will actually make him the number one driver?
Nah, because he seems to to be a bit more American. Like, he's selling the entertainment. Like, we'll let him race, you know. We'll go racing. We'll let it happen.
Yeah, and then did you see? I did see as well that Red Bull accused them of putting water in their tyres or something like that in one of the qualifying. So Zach Brown got his water bottle and got a label maker out and put tyre water on his water bottle and was drinking that all in one of the sessions. Just to fucking push Red Bull. That's great.
But that's why that Drive to Survive is why I'm into it.
Oh, that's the why I'm into it.
or someone was saying there's a Netflix Drive to Survive racing, like horse racing American thing out or coming.
Yeah, it's out.
And apparently it's really good.
Yeah, it's
I'm
out.
going to try and consume that this week. They obviously tried to do that in Race Victoria, but that was change, and everyone hated doing that because that might make us popular. So let's just stay with the status quo, and let's just see how long we can survive for as we glide towards the deadest markets I've ever seen.
Don't run them.
Does the golf Drive to Survive?
Yeah, full swing. That's elite. I haven't watched the last season of that. I think there's season 3 and I haven't watched that yet.
The American horse racing one is going to be grouse because I don't actually watch any American horse racing. The problem with the golf is you watch like the Masters. I'm watching the Masters from last year right now whenever I watch Netflix.
Yeah. Well,
I know the result. You know, I know what happened.
Yeah. I only started consuming Drive to Survive like a year and a half ago and had no F1 knowledge at all. So actually watching it for the first time when we binged like 8 seasons in a row was fucking elite. But yeah, it is a little bit different when you know the sport. But yeah, the other one, the NFL ones that they've done, it's not Drive to Survive style, but the quarterback and wide receiver are really good if you haven't watched them either.
There's an NBA one as well.
Yeah, that's what's that called? The one with LeBron in it. It's elite.
Is that the gold one?
Yeah, there's that one, and then there's also one that just follows LeBron and stuff around.
Apparently the Olympic one's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's good.
How's that that NBA guy that just ripped apart the Lakers? He's quite funny. He said, like, my lawyers just called the police they want to charge me with assaulting elderly people.
No, I didn't see that.
So I saw it. I don't know if it was real, but like, because of what it did to LeBron.
Yeah, right. No, I didn't see that.
Imagine if you said that, like, Jared would have a meltdown.
Yeah. Should we get to horse racing?
Yeah, and I'll just throw in a few Dutton stuff as we go through it. Where do we want to start with the horse racing? It was a big weekend, and we were lucky enough to sort of consume it all and watch it all together. We could start with the mailbag preview slide around the grounds. I thought we could sort of, Tom, you know, as a selection committee, which we are, just go through the boys like it's a team meeting, like you're Coxie, I'm Millsy, and he can be Amon Buchanan. Like, where are these boys at? Do we need to do anything about them? Are we happy with them? Blah, 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 blah. So if we roll through...
Before you do, Dicko, explain what's happened, where the captain's run's gone, and where they can consume some racing content from the three of us at the Early Crow, but also through your mailbag show.
We're going to... well, you probably have a better grip of this, to be honest, but we're going to do the Mailbag YouTube preview show most Thursdays moving forward and give it a go and have more of a variety of people on it and deeper dive with prices into not a heap of races, but you know, deeper the feature races wherever they are. As like, you know, Tom had to look at Hawkesbury on Saturday. We don't want to dive into that too deeply, so we can focus on the Group 1s in Adelaide, and you know, it'll move around through the winter.
Yep.
And yourself, Tom, and I can sort of float in and off it with other guys, can help it sort of build through the winter, and we'll just see where we're at the end of spring. But we're also on a Saturday morning going to have an Around the Grounds where each of the boys, so you've got Lindsay, yourself, Farjack, Pistol Pete, Gano, Paps, me, Scurry, who opened the show in a very scurry way. Butch and Jono, well, you'll get a best bet from each of them on a slide on the socials, which the Mailbag will put out and the Crow will put out. And we'll still have our, and we always will have our eyes on ponies, which had an unlucky weekend, let's say that.
Oh.
But I thought we'd sort of review where the boys are at, perhaps, and just go through their plays.
Butch.
Yeah. Start with
Shocking.
Butch.
Shocking. Well,
actually...
is he a West Coast supporter or something?
No, he's a Hawthorn supporter with an interest in Essendon. But I actually rang him on Sunday morning just for more a welfare check, you know. It wouldn't have been a good night for him politically on Saturday. And obviously West Coast were dismal. And I haven't done a welfare check on him yet about the Suns. But I'd say that, you know, of our big now roster, Butchie boy is sort of... He's got the most ground to make up.
It was you're the only one that got it, the best bet.
Yeah, well, you know,
I was
set the tone.
Anna Roper got a bit tired towards the end and wasn't riding it out.
I would say that yourself with the Gallant Star play, absolutely fine. I reckon he hit the front for about 50 metres from the 200 to the 150. Then they wobbled, and then Anna got tired.
But most importantly, to go, was it Cool Jakey that got the job done?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we backed that horse a couple of times.
In run, perhaps, when I saw him in run, I was like, I had to check my phone that we were on Gallant Star, because you're a big Cool Jakey fan, aren't
you? Yeah.
That sting a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. It was disappointing. I thought it was going to just run past, but anyway, Hawkesbury's a prick of a joint.
Jono's probably... You know, back at the pack there with Butch. To be honest, I couldn't watch it. I was voting, but he didn't sound very excited about his.
Gano's come third.
Farjak gets a complete pass mark. He backed the Muffin Man, which we're going to get to later on.
Oh, can we not?
We're going to. Scurry with Hughes, I think, is a pass mark. Gano probably gets a tick. Churchill's choice at Eagle Farm was a big fat price and ran second.
It had the absolute blows as well. I reckon I got like $10 in the end.
I think it was bigger than that at the end.
Really? Yeah. I took it on. I took Betfair, but I think it was like $250 the play. That's a pass.
Pistol was poor, and we expect more from him. He'd be one of our sort of star players. We need him to lift. We expect he will. Lindsay Bowles, Prestige Olay, held up key stages. Hard to knock. Ran second. And then perhaps what do we do with Morphettville race 6 Silent Sereno? Now it's paid sort of $2 a place for P-Rat, but at any stage did you feel like you were winning?
Nah, it was miles back, wasn't it?
Nah,
it was up on
landed
the speed
1 mile basically.
I can't even remember the race. I watched it.
I was against Sir Kingsford because it was blessed last start at Oakbank. It found the front, but then not only found the front, actually went wide. You couldn't be on the inside at Oakbank at that day. And I just thought at $3, it's just, so there's a little hole in the market. And then, I just thought if they run it a little bit truer, with Silent Sorrento being back in the inferior ground at Flemington that day when it was a fucking car crash, and it was given none, I just thought at $5, like, you've just got to have a little bit on here. But Jesus Christ, when they crawled around the bend, I think I messaged it about the 1,600 metre mark and said, they're crawling, this is all over. This Sir Kingsford was just fucking blessed. But
now I remember.
Full credit to Tegan for just popping it in front and then just everybody else just falling in behind, which was the theme of Adelaide, Dicko.
Yeah, let's roll now into the sort of, the racing chat, and we'll start with Adelaide. We focused pretty heavily, and the three of us talked a lot about race 7 and 8, which was the Adelaide Guineas and the SA Derby. It was On Display versus Harumph. Somewhere there was some really nice horses, Sneaky Sunrise in this Adelaide race, and I got it real wrong. The data, though, when I go to it, makes me feel better about myself. A very, very slow tempo doesn't suit Harumph. It suits this horse with a big turn of foot in On Display. What did you boys make of the race? And I suppose moving forward, what do we do with On Display as it heads towards better races to fatten up its CV?
It was very, very nice watch, wasn't it? Like
it was grim when you were against it. Like it was winning from like the 600. You're like, fucking hell, this thing is tanking up. Something kick.
But looking at the how slow they've gone, it's interesting, isn't it? But let down beautifully. Got some upside. Hang on, let me go to it.
Meeting fastest perhaps last 400 and 100 of the day, but it is off that very slow tempo, so slow. I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, like it's Yeah, like it's drawn back and gone. It's drawn wide, gone back, and it can land on speed as well. So if it gets a nice draw, it's going to land in a handy spot again. What sort of race do you reckon it would go to?
It's a really well-bred filly mare, so it just needs to go and
Just to get
win
black
group races. So you'd be looking at something in Queensland. I think the problem for this horse is it's 5 starts good tracks, 2 wins, 1 third, 1 second. It's 3 starts soft tracks for nothing.
Yeah.
And typically we go to Queensland and we expect soft ground. So maybe they put it away now and bring it back for the Melbourne Spring. That's what I would be doing. What's it had now? It's had 5 runs this prep.
Yeah, 5 runs in. It's only had 8 starts. You'd probably tip it out, wouldn't you?
It's group placed. It actually knocked off Grouse Mountain first up in a maiden this prep at Ballarat.
Is that when Grouse Mountain was about $1.18 as well?
No. This horse was like $1.
Okay.
On display was $2.10 versus Grouse like $6 or $5 that day.
Okay.
I think she's likely to spell. But then when she does, this is the decision and the trick that I don't think you fully comprehend when you're just punting on them. She's a 3-year-old filly. So if you put her out, she's going to come back a mare. And there's no, 4-year-old mares group races. She goes she can race in 3-year-old filly group races in Brisbane, but there's nothing for her that's age-specific, sex-specific as a 4-year-old mare. So
don't say that too loud. PVL will create a pop-up race, mate. Do not say that too loud.
No, not for a Victorian trainer and a Victorian owner. It wasn't pretty. It was grim. I laid this horse that won on display, full disclosure. I backed Harumph, and its action the whole way was just like, it's...
How come you didn't like On Display?
Well, if
it was
you
held up sickening last start.
Yeah, it started $41 to Zlotys.
Yeah.
I thought the map would be tricky. I thought that the leader, the Harumph would lead. I thought that she'd go sort of handlebars down. It was 16-16, that horse. It looked like a really aggressive placement by them, which would be confidence from them. And you'd want to ride that horse aggressively. Its profile, the horse I liked, Harumph, was that it could make a tempo and then sustain a tempo. And it hasn't made a tempo. It's gone really slow. It's probably come home quite good. They all probably have because they've gone so slow and they're talented horses. It was a bloody disappointing result for me. I think On Display is going to be really tricky for them to place as a 3-year-old moving forward, but that's their job, not ours.
Well, to ask you your question back to you then, to go, what are you doing with On Display going forward?
I'm spelling and bringing her back.
How are you treating her next time she's in the market? If she's,
I'm heavily laying her if she races on this prep onto soft tracks. But if she comes back into a sort of 1,400, 1,200 metre race, a group race or a listed race for mares against her own sex, I'll be very interested in what price, because it'll be a hot race. You get a better price. Let's move to the SA Derby, 2,500 metre, a really low overall figure. I think a very low edition of this race. And Jesus Christ, I was disappointed with Global Eclipse. It's been beaten 14 lengths. I reckon at the 600 and 800, if you caught the slide, Eyes on Ponies, or the mailbag slide, or anything, and you had a little bit of a position on this horse at $11, $12, at the 600 or 700, you were pretty excited.
Oh,
it was trucking.
It was trucking.
Turns out going 28 lengths slow at Cranbourne into a South Australian Derby isn't a great platform. I think these horses all are pretty limited. I don't think there's anything exciting to talk about, to be honest.
I've got one to talk about then. Diego, what do you make of the run of Alan on Statuario? I've just seen Alan get ridiculed for his ride on it. And from where it was, and I'm just rewatching it now, at maybe like the 1,000 metre mark, I'm not sure what else he could have done if all the horses had stayed in the row.
Basically, Sunday morning, right? Get up and at it. Just loving life at the moment. Take on medication, drive to the airport to pick up Di, turn on the radio. I copped it for 4 or 5 minutes. The owners of these races that won these races were mentioned less than the host and the prices they might have taken or they tipped. Or I pushed this horse 3.5 weeks ago. So went from feeling great about myself and life to starting to get a bit down, but then the medication comes in, so I started ringing up every person I could think that was hard right wing just to check on them, do a welfare check. What is this guy, John Allen, supposed to do from an inside draw on a short price favourite but get clear air and make sure this horse presents to win the race at the 200, which he did? You want him to ride for luck. It's just like post-nut clarity. It's bullshit. You got to make decisions in the heat of the moment, and you can't judge this guy for he presented this horse to win the race. That's a good ride.
I couldn't agree more. He's been beaten by a horse that I wouldn't say got lucky because there was a fair bit of room on the inside, but if for some reason these horses stay closer to that rail and they're more to that side of the track, he's given his horse every opportunity to win in a field that he knows it's going to break up.
Yeah, let's get deep. It's going to get real heavy racing here. You might lose. Just sorry if we do. This is exactly perhaps like our conversation with your horse on Saturday. Inside draw, not sure what the track's doing. Inside's probably not the best, but the winner here is a $20 chance. So you can't circle them and expect to win. You need to ride for luck because you've got an inside draw and you're in the game, but you're not expected to win. Inside draw and you're expected to win. Well, we've got to get off this fence because the fence is no good. That's the narrative when this race jumps on Saturday.
Yeah.
I think both rides made good sense. The winner got lucky, but luck comes when it wants to. Yeah. He's
followed the Godolphin horse behind it, which was $6.50 in the market. So he's followed one of its main dangers.
And this race was really, this race would be really hard for riders to nail. Like we just said, there was compressing for D Moore started 100 to 1. It was fucking travelling. He put that horse into a really nice spot. It was travelling and went pop. The Global Eclipse we spoke about. Like, if you're riding in the race, you're going, oh, Mellum's travelling on that Global Eclipse. Yeah. Post-race clarity or post-whatever clarity is one thing, but I think you need to judge rides and races on, being there, being in the moment, going 50, 60 k's an hour, and I thought John Allen's ride was... John Allen rode the horse really, really well and better than I anticipated he'd ride it. Hawkesbury, perhaps. What do we want to do at Hawkesbury?
Don't even fucking fuck that joint. It's a joke. The watching races there is
tough,
shocking.
Oh, did you go? You went. That's right.
Went. The grandstand.
What was Dave's thoughts?
Yeah, shocking.
How long does it take to get there from Coogee?
Hour, and it's a shocking joint. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's traffic out there.
So what do you do? M4?
Yeah, straight out west, wherever. And then you turn off.
Car sick, the old boy?
No, he didn't. He was putting the air on though, real cold, and putting his face in it. He was sweating up. But mate, it's a shocking joint. I don't know why they standalone meeting. It's a Hawkesbury Guineas. God, it's bad. The grandstand, the finish line is 100 metres further past than the grandstand, so you can't even watch your horse win if it's going to win. And there's one TV.
Did you watch the last race from the grandstand, or you gone home?
Oh, left the joint. Why would I stay there? It is, mate. Even watching it on Sky Racing, it's shit.
Tough. It's a tough watch on Sky.
It's the shittest racetrack in Australia.
We had that Until Valhalla kick off there, and it was dead set like a 15-minute photo. And each caller's going, I think Until Valhalla's got this. And the other guy's going, no, I don't think it has. Because no one knows.
Hang on, last year was pretty good, Dicko. Folk getting it done in the Hawkesbury Gold Cup. You knew it had the bob when it looked like it was a dead heat, but the outside's always got a big advantage.
Nash again. He won it again on Punch Lane, who was on the backup.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, you couldn't make ground there at all. Well, maybe the first couple, but nothing really made ground. But yeah, it was. I'm not even going to review it. I'm just going to
toys.
I'll just forget it even ran around. And
I think that you should throw in your prices into your punting form, our punting form for each horse that you priced it as a reference for that race, and go off that. That's all I like doing. I thought that Cool Jakey was a $4 chance, and it started $3.01. But I got that note. I thought it was a $4 chance, whereas I thought that
Gallant
Sun was a $2 chance, and it got beat.
Yeah.
So don't worry about suited, not suited. Just saying, I'm saying this horse should have won.
Yeah.
Caulfield boys. It was it's a track that's struggling. It was a good 4, quickly upgraded to a good 3 after surely a significant amount of rain, Pratty, through the week.
I don't think they got it as. I think I heard. Is it Sam Bennett? They said 15
hoses and sprinklers and all sorts.
He said
of shit.
it didn't. He said it didn't need it because on Friday morning it was a soft 5, and that he was going to leave it because it had started good 4, and that there was no point putting water on it because God had done his work.
Yeah, well, I think he should have put water on it. He probably should have put water on like from lane 2 wire, just a little bit heavier than the inside. It was a good 4 up to a good 3. The male is, because they never do it, they don't upgrade to a firm 2, but it was pretty close to that towards the back half of the card. There was a northerly blowing which can sort of hit leaders, which did. And it was a significant disadvantage to be inside and rails in run. It was a tricky track, and I think it was a firmer track than they're saying, and that's why we scratched Windstorm versus Pride of Jenni. Didn't want to run an 8-year-old horse on a firm track, no point. Shout out to the connections of Pride of Jenni, Tony, Kieran, Craig. Race 8 on a 9-race card, the only horse to win and lead and be rails and run all day, so they didn't consider just hanging off the fence a little bit or anything like that. So obviously they thought the inside was as good as the outside. Full credit to you. Let's start with Pride of Jenni, who returned to somewhere near her best. I think when you watched the race live, you thought she fell in. We all watched it pretty closely because we had a lot of real fast fire chat and like a confusion chat. Just wanted to sort of clarify to perhaps what I was and wasn't doing chat. I thought post-race that it was a plain win. I might have said that to you. But then when you consider she's in inferior lanes and she's run a 16 above the all average, it's a pretty good return.
You surprised by that number? I'm a bit surprised.
I was saying to Peter,
I didn't think they went that hard.
On the Little Prices podcast review we do on a Monday morning, where we're like, say things we probably couldn't say publicly. I try and I always have a guess of what the numbers might be at the Caulfields and the Moonee Valleys and the Flemingtons and the Sandowns, and I thought this would be like a 10. So I think it's a really strong number. I think it's great for racing that she's back and winning. I think it was quite scary for people like us, the three of us. Like, we love the sport, we want to do well. It could have been pretty bad if she broke down or went poorly.
Yeah.
Moving forward with Pride of Jenni, I think if they back her up in 2 weeks, she'll double in price and she'll struggle. That seems to be her profile now. She's obviously got a condition where she can bleed internally or something goes amiss. And you see these big runs and these poor runs. The poorer runs seem to be when she's backed up within 2 or 3 weeks from a good run. So surely you'd space the run, but who knows?
What do you do with these horses that were in behind it? I reckon.
You pray to God that they survive. And
I reckon there was only a couple of them that have seen that tempo. One of them was Macram, and that shit the bed in the Werribee Cup about 2 weeks later after it saw that last prep. And
Regal Zeus went 12 lengths fast to the 600 at Moonee Valley once.
Yeah.
And it came off that, it went all right. It went 16 or 18 here.
Yeah.
So
18.
This is a level of lactic acid and hurt that these horses would never have felt. And I think sometimes what can happen is they go to that point next time and they go, fuck this. I don't want to do it. Like one day perhaps he's going to go and do a pre-season and just go, you know what? I'll get through this one because I signed a contract and I've got a human brain, but I won't be doing another one because I don't want to hurt myself. I hate it. And that's what I think these horses do. But they do it race to race. And I think it's really, I'm worried about Regal Zeus, genuinely. I hope it comes through at Super. But I think there's horses here that potentially were like cannon fodder, and I just hope that they're all right. Because she's a beast.
Mm.
She wins this race. You see it. She wins it from the 900 to the 600. She just puts this hole into them.
Yeah. Perhaps I got a question for you. Did you end up backing her or laying her? What did you do?
I actually laid the place. Laid the place. I was.
I knew Dicko forgot that. Let's go.
That's right. Because I texted him and so I was like, "Well done! You showed intestinal fortitude and discipline." And he's like, "Yeah, I did lay the place though."
Yeah, I was just stuff it. I was just having fun. Just a few dollars here, but laid the place. I was not hoping, but just for the chance that she might have went and missed. But it was good to see her under the line and win.
Immediacy went good. Nice number overall. The The second crooked sort of ride for us on Saturday was Hughes. This was passive and sat on the fence and ended up towing Molly Knickers into the race, which towed in the winner, Sunshine in My Pocket. A really nice overall time from Sunshine in My Pocket. It's a nice enough horse, but it needs things to go right, and they did there on Saturday. I think everything out of race 1 and 2 are half limited, particularly race 1. Landmark sort of promised to do what it did there in race 3, but again, a little bit like Sunshine in My Pocket, needs that setup and needs, like the northerly wind helped it, the tempo helped it, was in the sort of slingshot spot. Got its Christmas, as you two would say. And I think the performance of the day comfortably for me is race 5, Oak Hill, first up, Lindsay Park, Blake Shin Road, inside draw, wasn't suited with the way the track raced. But this horse is just genuinely exciting. He's always shown talent. I really like the stable change, and I love the tactical versatility it showed there on Saturday. It's just another sort of string to its bow and adds to its weaponry as a racehorse. I think this horse sort of reminds me a bit of a sort of Ray Magnerio that just working its way through the grades and has this elite turn of foot. But, you know, if this horse can be ridden by the Blake Shins of this world and trained by the Hazes, I think it's got a better chance in life than Ray has. So I think Oak Hill's really, really exciting horse.
Nice, beautiful win up the rail. Thanks for coming.
It was over at the 600, wasn't it?
It was travelling.
Horses to follow from Caulfield for me are Sugarcoat, the Muffin Man, who I don't know if we want to talk about and how much Brady will have to edit, but do we want to try it?
You could do it. No, we just do it.
Steward's report. Prior to correct weight, Muffin Man this is. Rider Ethan Brown indicated that fractionally before the start, the gelding kicked out and got a leg up as the start was affected. While stewards noted the provision of AR 204, they were of the view that whilst the Muffin Man did get its hind leg up, that was almost simultaneous with the all clear being given, and therefore declared the gelding a starter. This has genuinely confused the fuck out of me. I don't know how to take it or what it really means. There's no clarity or clarification from anyone in racing, which doesn't surprise me, but it does disappoint me. If someone was to tell me that Ethan is trying to say that he didn't think it was a runner and rode it as such, he wasn't trying, that would make sense. But I watched the race, I thought he was trying. I thought he did the best he could from a wide draw. I thought the ride was awful, but I thought he was trying. I just don't understand what that steward's report means at all. What do you two take out of that? You
rang me, yesterday as you were driving to pick up lovely Di from the airport, and I think the only thing he said to me perhaps was, read the steward's report. I'm like, mate, I'm on the phone to you. I'm not getting the steward's report up while we're talking, but...
This makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. And I've got some idea of what I'm doing.
So the questions is, if the horse got its leg up and he was genuinely concerned about the horse, would you not, and he's saying that he wasn't there to, this is what we're interpreting, right? That it potentially wasn't there for it to win once it was going around because he was genuinely concerned. Then why the fuck did he push it mid-race, 4 wide, and then see that another horse took off and then hold it up and then go again to try and win the race? Does that mean he was in two minds the whole way and he only decided when the horse was fucking travelling that he was like, shit, I better have a go here because I actually can win this and can win this prize money?
Yeah, it was the run of the day at Caulfield, this horse.
By far.
And I like and I trust Ethan. If I didn't, I'd be... Part of my little tinfoil hat brain would be saying, has he just handled everyone here and put that in so he can't really be questioned about the ride? Because if he has, it's genius. He's sort of saying, I want this horse scratched. It didn't have a fair start. That's why, what happened. So then they can't question anything that he did. Yeah. You know it was bad when Matty Punce was having a chuckle late?
After he laid Oak Hill, oh no, that's right, he was trading the ice hockey, he couldn't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the Black Bookers. Sugarcoat, the Muffin Man, I think, is flying inside draw.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Ethan stick on, prove a point. But perhaps I think this would be one for you. This thing. Now, if James Cummings hadn't been let go last week, he'd be a chance to have been let go Saturday afternoon. How and why they ran Fleetwood on a firm track, I'll never know. But they did. And the market still backed it, and it went fucking enormous. It is a swimmer of note. It is 2 from 2 on heavy tracks. This ran on a firm track. It was very good first up off 2 hot trials.
Hello.
Fleetwood will be hunting wet weather and tracks we've given it. It is in for a beautiful winter campaign and is as bigger as confident black booker as I will ever give out on the Early Crow. Fleetwood.
Ooh. Wow.
That's a big push.
That's big.
It's a big,
Used to
big
be in
push.
Sydney.
Yeah, it floats between the two, yeah.
Yeah. I've backed it before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
wet
sure
tracker.
we backed the Black Cloud out of a race that it came in, I reckon, as well, down the straight one day at Flemington. Do you make anything of Nation's Call in the last to go? Is that a little sneaky one there? I just don't know.
Right? Yeah.
I just don't know what they do with it, and I think it's got about an 80 rating, so it's got to run in those benchmark 84s or carry the grandstand in a 78.
Benchmark 78, yeah, claim, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that ran all right. I'd like to see that up to
I thought in
1600.
in that slide that we do, Praddy, and we're going to put out shortly.
Yep.
I think, like with that sort of horse, and Saturday is an example. Bad tactics and like tactical sort of unintelligence become more common this time of year for whatever reason, and then your expectations on riders to overachieve, you need to sort of keep them in check. The A grade riders that get all the good rides were in Adelaide or elsewhere on Saturday. Just about. Blake Shin was there. You've got to sort of anticipate these setbacks as you go along. At this time of year, it's going to become more and more common. I think that's a big sort of. If you can keep that in mind and not dream about where this horse might be and run, you'll be well served. In hindsight, maybe I was a bit too sort of hopeful that Ethan would begin well and roll across on Muffin Man. Did I think he'd sit 4 wide the trip? No. But anyway, that's been the Early Crow episode 72. Brought to you by no one. Again, get involved. Email theearlycrowpodcast@gmail.com, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe our shows. Get around us on Instagram, Twitter if you haven't, and give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and iTunes. Have a phenomenal week. Gamble responsibly. Chances are you're about to lose. That is, of course, unless you follow us on those platforms. Have a great week, and bye for now.